VoxWave now features a streaming radio media player on our website's front page, where local artists can get their music played 24/7. For more information on getting your music in rotation or to perform live at our studio, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Android users, the VoxWave app is now available in the Google Play Store. Download the app today on your Android device to listen in and view programs.
Business owners looking for a place to advertise your business and promote your products and services? VoxWave is the right place. We have over 10,000 views a day and 70,000 listeners a month. For more information, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
The world's #1 streaming music station, VoxWave.com.
We have your favorite shows on VoxWave.com. Check out our lineup. The Kim Show, Mondays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. In the End We Win with Curtis, Mondays, 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. Cooking with Flavors with your host, Chef Flavors, Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Slick Daddy Rick, Heartbeat Congo Hour, Tuesday, 8 to 10 p.m. Impact the World Radio TV Show with Cheryl Woods, Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. The Digital Digest with your host, Digital Ace, Wednesdays, 3 to 5 p.m. Live Set Wednesdays with your host, Frank Dent, Wednesdays, 8 to 9 p.m. The BGKH Show with your hosts, Dominion and Epic, Wednesdays, 9:15 to 10:15 p.m. You, Math, and Me with George Randall, Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Then, on Thursdays at 5:30 p.m., The Prayer, Praise, and Deliverance with Elder Thurman Gorman Jr., The 640 Evening Show, Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The Peace in the Morning Show with your host, Darius A. Stanton, co-host, Delicate Daryl Barnes, and Queen Ayakidobi, Fridays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Hall Street Journal with your host, Robert Hall, and co-host Clarence Sanders, Fridays, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Frank, The Success Principles, Friday, 12 noon to 1 p.m. Chanel's 3 Cents, Friday, 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. The Daryl Allen Harrison II Crime Victims Foundation Show, hosted by Daryl Harrison II, every Friday from 3 to 4:30 p.m. The Rush Hour with DJ Drew and Janique, every Friday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Different Minds Show, hosted by DJ Bam 640 and DJ Andre Michael, and your co-host, MC Fran, every Friday, 9:15 p.m. to 11:15 p.m. The Healer Blues Show, with host Ron Jackson, every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Hour of Power, with your host, Reverend Winters Rogers, every Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And again, the Prayer, Praise, and Deliverance with Elder Thurman Gorman Jr., Saturday, 11 p.m. to 12 p.m. And don't forget Four Sisters Live Talk, Saturday at 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Turning dreams into reality talk show with your host, Tashika L. Green, every second Saturday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Walk in Newness 24/7 with Missionary Antoinette, Saturdays, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. News, ULN, news and analysis, information, sports, and Black history. With your news anchor, Roderick Carter Willis, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Step your game up with the Youth Project, hosted by DJ Main and DJ Low Hefe, Saturday, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And don't miss The To Go Show with Kim Brown, Saturdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. I Am Dr. Sharon Show, each Sunday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., featuring The Grind, Entrepreneur Network Spotlight, and Write the Book Now. The Riri Williams Show, Fashion and Style Hour, every first Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Real Talk 101, Sundays 6 to 8 p.m. And every third Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m., the Third Sunday Tea Talk Show with Dr. Akita Pearson. Gospel Live TV Show with host Gloria Mello, each Sunday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. Listen to all your favorite shows on VoxWave.com.
VoxWave.com.
VoxWave.com, streaming your favorite jazz, blues, and R&B 24/7.
Drop the mic. And there it is. Well. That's how we're going to start off our Wednesday this evening.
Listen, I think that's how we're going to start the show from now on.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Come up with a song.
So we already know which one of your signature songs is going to be. One of them. One. Ting.
Oh. Oh yes. Oh, but I'm gonna say that one. I'm gonna save that one for Black Music Month in June.
Okay. All right. I can work with that.
Will I bring a wig?
I mean, that's up to you.
Will I do the whole?
I mean, we do have a stage, and we could,
Curtis was supposed to love me.
I mean, I'm just saying we have a whole stage. We can make that happen.
Okay,
so,
we can make that a little closer.
I think that's me.
Yeah.
I think that's me.
But you got closer though.
You said you want me to get closer.
I said you're a little close. Is what I said.
So you trying to say I stink or something?
No, I'm not saying that at all. But I mean, we're gonna be, we're two broad-shouldered babes. We gotta,
I don't have any shoulders. I'm a little shoulder decline.
You're a wide back baby.
So I'll say wide back, but I don't really have
I'm
any shoulders.
trying to be
I don't
nice,
really-
but okay.
I've never got any shoulders.
You're still close. Just push it over just a little bit. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. Maybe to see you're still.
Are you okay?
Still.
How about you move that direction? Because we are in the center.
I mean, I was already here though.
But we are in the center. But listen.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Like, I mean, you need all this room and everything. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness. All right. So
Are you better now?
I mean, I'm good. Hold on. This is get in the frame. All right. Hey kids, how's it going?
Hey, hi kittens. What's going on?
Come on, intro.
So, good evening.
Good evening. How's it going?
So thank you all for tuning in tonight. Today is Wednesday, April 4th, 2018. I am Dominion.
And I am Epic.
Thank you. Throw the kids off a little bit. Actually,
I was like, is this call me by my name or something? I'm like, what's going on here?
So again,
Is this like the weirdest, gayest version of Freaky Friday?
I mean, we could do that.
That would be fun.
We could do that.
I mean, it would be fun for you, not so much for me.
You tried it. You tried it. You tried that. Anyway, today is Wednesday, April 4th, 2018, and I am Epic, and he is
Dominion.
And welcome to episode 13.
13, yes.
13. Like, I was thinking about that. Like, 13, that's a lot.
Here
Yeah,
we
episode
are,
13 of the
Hey,
BGKH show.
That's for the blacks,
See? Black.
the gays,
Hey, girl.
the kinksters, and all of the humans. See, if you weren't so close to me.
But you reached over into MySpace. You are, listen, we back in 1984. You in MySpace.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Banter check. So this week,
This week,
a lot
yeah, we've had
happened
which
this week.
Well, yes, a lot has happened this week. So,
So we don't have to necessarily go in chronological order. To catch you all up on last week, we did make it back to Texas de Brazil. And my stomach was all good, and I was all set. And
well, wait a minute. We have to set the scene because first it was about to be a mutiny. We walked in the joint and they didn't have the bowl of
did
bacon
not have the bowl of bacon.
on the damn salad bar.
Right. And so there was that. So
you know, I listen. I have
called
some
the
very
cute little,
complex feelings about
the
this
cute
bowl of
manager, and he bought us a big old.
bacon. He wasn't. He was just short, and but Orlando
short and cute.
No, he wasn't.
Not the waiter.
The waiter was cuter than the.
Wasn't. I mean, the waiter wasn't unattractive.
No, the waiter was
I'm talking
cuter
about
than the
manager.
manager. The little short guy with the tight suit on.
Yeah, it was cute.
Nah.
I don't know.
I'll pass.
Maybe I just had 3 or 4 caprahinas, so I was good.
That could be it.
Yeah, those caprahinas.
I don't
were
know.
strong.
I don't know how many you had before I got there.
I had 2 before you got there, and then like 3 while we were at the table. Listen,
Alcoholic.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Thank you.
Like listen. You claim it. You do what you're gonna do with it, and you make it work.
We had all of our favorite meats, and we had our desserts, and we just had a wonderful time. And there were kitten heels. I was going to say cha-cha heels, but good girls don't wear cha-cha heels.
If any of you know me at all, you know good and goddamn well I can't stand a kitten heel. Oh my God, I just want to fight somebody. Like, I want to fight the person who even thought of a kitten heel. Like, first of all, like, why is it even there? Listen.
It might as well just be a flat.
It's a flat. It shouldn't even be in existence. It's like, who makes a heel like this big and for what? And then when women wear them, some of them wear them, they do that thing with like what they have on like the little Dr. Scholl's, and they kind of make the heel like scrape on the ground, like skirt. Like, I guess like they think it's cute. Why, Blanche? Why?
And listen, I am all for being proud of who you are at whatever size God made you, but I need you to.
I already know. So, wait a minute. Can I just interject before you say something else?
Please.
God have mercy on your soul. Literally?
I'm just saying. All right, so stretch pants and ruffles. It just the ensemble. It just didn't. It just wasn't flattering on her figure at all. And you know, I'm a person of substance myself, and I come from a family of women of substance. But all of the women in my family, first of all, like Truvy, they have not left the house without lycra on their thighs since they were teenagers. For one.
Amen.
And I'm just like, I felt like I wanted to be one of those gays on one of those makeover shows and just be like, oh, honey. Oh, honey.
What's going on here? What's this all about? What's that?
No.
What's this?
Right.
This is a no. This is a fashion faux pas.
Yeah, you know, it's just not working for me.
This is not.
And I feel like it's mostly black women of a certain socioeconomic level, but we're going to talk about eyelashes in a minute as we move into our second story.
I am here. Okay.
Listen, this hood rat from the west side of Philadelphia.
First of all, let's be clear. My dad's from West Philadelphia. I am not from West Philadelphia. I will claim Mount Airy and I'll also claim North Philly. Let's be clear on that. So let's get that clear.
Okay, honey.
But
whatever.
If it's gonna run deep, it's gonna run deep because I'm gonna claim all sections of Philadelphia. But here's where we are because I got life.
So we go into Denny's after our Pledges bar night.
Right.
Which, shout out to them. They raised a record amount of money. They raised about $1,200, which is, I think, probably
it's the largest amount.
The most that any pledge class has raised. And I don't think on any of our Onyx bar nights that we've ever raised $1,200 in a single sitting. So
I think you're right.
So
yeah, shout out
to them. Good
shout out
good
to
job.
all of you. So
good job.
To Eric,
him and them and
them and they and this one and that one and
them
and them. Yeah,
right.
I was gonna name them.
So you know, one day that we'll get to name them. But
that's
today
true.
It's not that day.
That's
so
true.
Anyway, so we are at Denny's, and so it starts because our favorite manager Tiffany is not there.
Tiffany, come back! Please. Come back!
Because you would have handled it.
First of all,
now let's just say that Shaquanda, I'm just making that up.
We go call.
But she handled it.
Listen.
However, all right. So the first thing, it started with
the evening went wrong. We didn't get placed into our normal seats.
But the seats was fine because we got the room in the back though.
We did, but I mean,
she had a little attitude because she didn't like working.
That's too small. That's too small. It's too small.
Sorry,
right.
Like
that's it's like the half. Right.
So she was like, "Welcome to Denny's.
How can I help you?"
Right. She was like, welcome to Denny's. How can I help you?
And let me paint the picture.
And then, of course, this one made it even worse by being like, where's Tiffany?
Like, yeah, because I want to know where she at.
I feel like a lot of other people have come in and asked for Tiffany.
Tiffany, we miss you. I hope all is well. We hope to see you back on the night shift. But listen, I just hope you listen. However, shout out to, we're going to call her Shaquanda. Shout out to Shaquanda because she was very nice. She was. Yes. So let me be clear.
So let's start there with the eyelashes. All right. So it was like this. So it was already long as shit on the side close to the nose, but on the outside it was even longer. So her eyelashes were asymmetrical. So it was like it was flapping in the wind.
Right.
As she talked.
You sitting there talking to her, and you're like,
right. So everything is fine. Dinner, breakfast at 3 a.m. at Denny's, it's fine. It's Denny's.
Listen, right. It's no.
Right. You're not expecting 5-star cuisine. But neither is it the worst food you've ever had in your life.
It's very
reliable.
Very palatable.
The only thing would make it better if they sold drinks.
Can you imagine drinks in the Denny's at 3 o'clock in the morning? And they already
up.
Can you imagine that on Saturday? Anyway, we'll come back to that.
Yeah. A fantasy.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're getting ready to pay, right? And so I am at the register about to insert my card, and I hear this. I can't even.
It was like.
This bitch pulls out a taser.
Wait, paint the picture. Full on. We're gonna give. I don't even know what her name is, but this is what I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call her Quana. Full on Quana from Southeast and Anacostia. She had her stun gun.
Eyelashes, the little short
with the little wig on, with the little red piece in the front that was hanging off on the side.
Makeup, bolero jacket, tight ass jeans, and she was like, she
and drunk,
Cootie Brown,
drunk. So she put out her stun gun. It was all like,
she was like, yeah, that's right, because apparently she had beef with the. I am 46 years old. I have literally never had beef with anybody. 47 years old. I still gotta get used to it. It's only been a week.
I know. I'm not. Listen.
And I have never had beef. I mean, there's been hoes that I can't stand, but I wouldn't call it like beef. And I certainly wouldn't be like at a place to be like, I can't stand that bitch. But this is what it is. And so she pulls out this stun gun, and I'm like, oh. And I had finished paying by that time, so I was like, let me just go stand in this corner while the rest of my friends pay. If I had been there by myself, I'd have been out. But, all of y'all still had to pay. So I was like, all right, let me just, in case I gotta, because listen, she gotta get close to me to get that stun gun. And listen, it's not that I don't believe in hitting women. I don't believe in hitting people. But if you come at me with a stun gun, I will do my best to fuck you up. Just be clear. Anybody that's listening to this, anybody that's watching this, if you come to me with a stun gun, I will fuck you up. I do not care what sex you were born, what sex you claim now. I will fuck you up. And especially when she was just literally just standing there. She was talking shit. Then her friend, all right, so we got, all right, so hold on. We got to check off, make sure we got all the pieces. All right, we got to also talk about the girl that she was having an argument with behind the counter. Because that hellion, she was trying to hold it together. She was trying to hold it together.
She was trying.
But she, like me, does not take well to being threatened with a stun gun.
Right.
So I feel like if she had just been mouthing off, the girl behind the counter, not Shaquana, the manager, but another.
We'll just call her the cashier or the waitress.
Who actually, the stun gun chick, actually had some sort of a disagreement with.
Right.
But when she pulled out a stun gun, chick behind the counter was ready to fuck her up.
And she was trying to pull it. She was like,
but the more she thought about it, the more pissed off she was
like,
about the whole thing.
This bitch put us like, she was like, what? She was like, I'm trying to hold this together. I ain't say nothing to y'all. Nothing.
And then I'm just standing in the corner like,
I'm on the other side looking like,
edging closer and closer to
what? And I'm on this side
like Miss Seeley. Like when they was fighting
everybody get low.
And I'm like,
get down low.
What's going on? All right, so we got first everybody, including all of the waitresses, all of the hood rat chicks, all had terrible fake eyelashes.
Because it was 3 of them. Let's be clear.
Right. So
it was 3 of them.
We got fake eyelashes. We got tasers. And pussies out in flat back sequence.
Oh,
all right. So this chick was about this tall and this wide, and she had it looked like a homemade stripper outfit.
Listen, let's try to give you a visual on this. So we got this much booty. And we have.
So this is her ass, right? This is where the outfit stopped. So as you were looking at her from the back, it looked like she literally had on no panties. And she had had a big old black woman ass, and it literally looked like, let me see.
Can y'all see this? Can y'all see this?
This is literally,
so if y'all can see this, listen, all this right here, listen. This is hips and legs and ass, and this is the only little piece that she had covering. Only little piece.
She had to have been a stripper because that outfit looked homemade, and it was
dangling.
This was flat back sequins, and then this just barely covered.
Just dangling.
But this wasn't. This looks like it's a G-string or something. No, this was just a triangular piece of fabric.
Just a piece of fabric hanging.
Almost covered the crack of her ass. And so all three of these hoes are drunk. And then
Right.
even the police are hood.
The police came in.
The police came in, and I was like, great, you know, because I'm like, I'm like the women and girls trip where they're like, officer, there was those people in the club were fighting, and it was just terrible. But the police got hood.
They did, but wait a minute. But you got to get back before that, because before the police came in, the manager Shaquanda, listen. I loves. I loves me some Shaquanda, so I don't want this to come off any other way other than that. And I loves me some people of substance. But I'm gonna just say this: this woman was probably about 6'2".
She was a big woman.
She was about 6'2". She's probably bigger than a couple of men that I know. Mm-hmm. But listen, she was very feminine, very nice, very sweet person. And them eyelashes were still hanging just a little bit because they was like fanning.
But she was agitated.
So she was agitated. So they're going back and forth. So as all three of the broads started to try to come behind the counter.
Behind the counter.
Shaquanda stood in between and she was handling all three of them like, no, you will not come back here. You will not tonight. You will not. This is not going on. This is not going to happen. She handled all three of them.
She had told us from the beginning, before all of this happened, when we came in and asked for Tiffany, she was like, I fucking hate the night shift at Denny's because it's nothing
she
but
sure
hood
did.
rat. And little did she know that this was literally going to be everything that she hated. But anyway, then the police come in. Oh, because Khalid, one of our friends, went outside. It was like,
that's who called the police?
Yes. Well, they were already out sitting outside. He snitched.
I was about to say, I'm judging you, Khalid.
But he told the police, who were already standing outside, that this chick inside had a taser. So they came in and they were trying to break it up at first, but then there was a black dude, a white woman, and a black woman.
Yes.
And the black woman, all right, at first she was like, okay, y'all need to handle it. Then she was like, what is your problem? You don't have on no clothes. Then she started reading her. She's like, you don't have on no clothes on. You don't have no respect for yourself. You need to go home and get dressed. I was like, you're a police officer, ma'am. But then everything she was saying was true. But I just was like, you're making the situation worse by trying to read them. And the reads were good. And if the other bitch didn't have a taser, I'd be like, ooh, she ran the shit out of you. But the bitch still had a taser, and then the three of them had guns, and then now I was like, all right, so this was the time for me to, slide my way out and make my exit. And then they still talking shit outside to the police officer, and this bitch gets in the bitch with the taser is driving a beat up Volkswagen Tiguan with temporary plates, the whole right side of the car is all jacked up and crushed in. Listen. And the gas cap was missing. And then the bitch ran a light to make a U-turn and go back the other way. And I was in my car. I was like, let me just, you see somebody doing crazy shit. So you're like, just let me get this whole wide berth. So she was like 40 feet in front of me because I was like, I'm not going to be involved with this.
All I know is I was in the background when they started getting the fight on. I was standing in the background.
He literally was like, yeah! And I was like, if you don't sit your ass down.
I was literally was doing
that. And I'm like, if you do not sit your ass sit down, you are making it worse. You are making this situation exponentially.
It was everything.
It was. Let's just be clear. It was
everything.
It was everything.
It was everything.
But it was literally happening right here.
It was everything.
It would have been everything if it.
And I'm standing off on the side like.
But if either the bitch with the taser had decided to get buck or more buck. If the bitch with the pussy out in the flat back sequence had decided to get buck, if Shaquana had decided to get buck, if the chick they threatened had decided to get buck,
who was the aunt apparently.
Oh, okay.
She was like, I'm 40 years old. I was like, and you acting like this? And you look kind of old for 40.
Rough.
You look. Rough. I was like, listen, you got 46 and 47 out here, like, and you looking a little rough, girl. Like you. I was like, God, and you got on makeup. Right?
But my point is, you doing all of this, and I was like, if any of these bitches decided to get buck, we were right in the crossfire. Listen. We were not far enough away. So, like, if that had all happened and we had been back in our room in the corner, we could have been like, oh, this is a show. But now we were like, we were like extras.
Listen.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to go down.
Here.
I have made it to 46 years old without ever being in a place where people got shot or anything like that. And I did not want to go out a week after my 47th birthday with some foolishness over some pancakes and shit at Denny's.
As a person, and listen, I am all for it. As a person that normally will pull everybody back, because I'm usually that reserved person. Well, I'm gonna just pull it back. Like, don't. The fight's over there.
He
You run over
really,
there.
I was surprised
I
at how
was
booked
so
he got.
excited. I was so
like, what are you-
excited.
I was looking at you from across the room.
I
Like,
was
what
so
the fuck
excited.
are you doing?
Now, let's be clear. Had that table turned, it was going to be a fight. They'd have got fucked up. All of them would have got fucked up.
All of them, because I'd have
All of them got
bulldozed.
fucked up.
Listen, I'd have grabbed as many people as I could have.
All of them would have
I'd
got
have
fucked up.
bulldozed my way out of there.
And I won't discriminate male versus female.
Yeah.
All of them would have got fucked up. The police officers, too, until they pulled their guns out.
Well, because
But
they
I
really
realized
were
they were
acting
there trying.
unprofessional.
Because they
At
got a
first
little.
they were.
I thought
but
they
at
were going to say
first-
something to us.
Well, I was
That's-
like,
I mean, that's what I
what are
thought,
But,
you know.
I mean, first the black girl, the dude never really said anything, but the black woman and the white woman police officer, they was acting just as hood rat as
But the one black girl gave the white girl the business. She was like, I mean, is this your job and everything? The girl was like, yeah, it's my job. This is what I do. I was like,
to the police. Right?
yes. I was like,
they were talking mad shit to the police.
and they stand there like this. When a police officer standing here like this with their hand on their piece,
gun,
you standing like
they
this.
ready, and
Listen,
that's when I was like,
I'm gonna back down.
it's
Like
time
I'm
to-
listen. I'm gonna break that
ease
thing
on-
down.
Look,
Break that
you
out
see
of
me easing out of
third
this scene?
into
You see me
first.
ease out of this scene?
Break that thing right on down because you
what
standing
I'm
like
doing.
this, and I'm like, all you gotta do is flop that switch.
Exactly. Yeah, it was too
I'm
much.
good.
And it was too confined. They were all in an area about as big as this table.
Yeah,
And we were
'cause
just
and we were
barely
literally
the
on this
perimeter.
side. This is the cash register,
Right.
and we're
And so
like,
I was like, nah, this is too much.
but I got my
Nah,
life over in that corner because when I saw it, I was like,
Yeah. But we'll be back next
oh
Sunday.
my god,
We'll be back
that is my favorite Denny's ever.
Right.
Tiffany come back, and if Tiffany had been there, I think Tiffany would have handled it too. So but I come through Denny's.
Right.
Come through.
So, every day it's something different with Epic.
So, okay. I wasn't going to speak on this, but I'm going to speak on it anyway. I understand that we are living in a very
Material world, and you are a material girl?
Not so much.
Okay.
But we are living in a very eco-friendly, reduce our carbon footprint time of this world. Mm-hmm. And I get it that workplaces are becoming, they're trying to multitask, and they're also trying to not spend as much money for people. So this whole idea of open spacing and sharing cubicles and kiosks or whatever. So I get all that, and I work in an environment where we have cubicles. Mm-hmm. First time I've ever not had an office, so it was a little different for me because I
thought you didn't have an office this whole time.
No, I haven't had an office since I've been in this department which has been the last year and a half or 2 years. But this is the first job I've ever had where I didn't have an office specific. And when I first started, I had an office because I was in a different department.
Well, you bougie, and now you mad because you don't have
Well,
an office.
no. I'm fine that I don't have an office. I'm okay with that. But the problem for me is it depends on who's sitting next to me. And so both times I've had two millennials sit next to me, which is not a problem. But I'm saying this to say there's a difference. Mm-hmm. Because when I said to this one particular person, well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? And he was like, well, what does that mean? I was like, what? What are you talking about? He's like,
was
what
this
does that
person
mean?
black?
Yes. And I was like, so I'm thinking he was joking. He was like, no, he was serious. I was like, pot calling the kettle black. Like, what color is normally? So let me break this down for you.
Context clues, honey.
Cast iron pots are usually what color? He's like, black. And I was like, okay. Cast iron kettles are usually black. So if they're both black, then how can one call the other one black, as in like blacker than the other, because they're both black? He didn't get it. He still didn't get it. And I thought I was doing a good job, but I let it go. 10 minutes later, he came back to me and he said, oh, now I get it. Okay. Well,
We've moved on.
all right. Yeah. But in any event, right. But in any event, so I found it kind of important to just kind of mention that point. So, like most people, there are things that you can do at your job that you may not be able to do while you're at home. And you will take advantage of your breaks and you will use your workspace to do some things. Like sometimes you have to take your personal calls and do whatever. So I wound up taking a personal call and he's sitting right next to me and he overheard my conversation, which is fine. In an open space, you hear the conversation. So you keep it very clean and neutral and, do whatever. But sometimes, depending on what the conversation is or when they call, sometimes it isn't. This conversation had to do with my mother and an issue and a few other things. I get off the phone after I resolve it, and he turns around and he says to me, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm fine." He's like, is everything okay with your mom?" I was like, "It's fine." He's like, well, I just want to make sure everything's all right. I was like, "It's fine." He's like, "But are you okay?" And I was like, I am okay.
Until you keep asking me if I'm okay. Now I'm about to not be okay.
So again, it went on, and then there was another phone call, the same issue, and I kind of handled it, and I just kind of got there, and he was like, "So, are you okay?" And I was like, "Listen, let me explain something to you.
One more time.
I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you being concerned and wanting to check in with me, but I am okay. If I was not okay, trust me, I would get up and leave, or somebody would know that I'm not okay. But I'm good."
You thought you was going to flick off or something?
But for me, what I said to him was, I said, "Listen, I appreciate you asking this, being concerned. However, you don't have to ask me if I'm okay more than once. I'm good. But I really do appreciate you asking. So let's one time."
There you go.
Just one.
Bam.
And I get it that he might be concerned, but he is that person that seems like he's a little over concerned. And I don't even know if it's over concerned, but maybe just nosy. Maybe that's really what it is. Yeah. But I don't know. But again, I just found that interesting, and I found that to be it's a little off-putting because later on in conversation he said to me, "Well, I would want you to ask me if I'm okay."
I would absolutely not.
I really don't care. I don't really know you. I don't know anything about you other than we sit next to each other. And it's okay. He hasn't done anything wrong. And
right.
But we don't.
I would be like, "Are you all right?" If you say fine, then
that's
I'm like,
thank God. I don't want to ask you about. I don't want to engage you in we're not on that level. We're not there. We just work together. We don't even. I'm not trying to hang out with. First of all, he has a little bit too much energy early in the morning, so that's just not gonna work for me. So come 9:00. He's like, "Good morning, hey, how you doing?"
No. You're at a 9. I need you at a 3.
I'm looking at him like that, like the little meme from the young lady, like.
Right. What are you giving? What are you giving?
What bitch?
Right.
So yeah, and then on top of that,
Is he cute though?
No, not really.
Oh well. Yeah, then definitely.
He has a girlfriend. They've been together for God knows how long, and all type of stuff.
You lost me.
So it's okay, but we good. He's like a party waiting to happen all the time.
Oh. So before we go into break, let's talk about this woman. All right. A woman. So this woman. I'm going to give you a couple of guesses as to her makeup. I'm just going to let you decide. She decided that it was her place to get into an A and B conversation. So these women were having some conversation about 1:40 in the morning on March 16th. And so there was a conversation between two women and a man. And at some point, she thought it was good to interrupt them and say that I support Donald Trump. And the two women apparently took offense to that and commenced to the ancient Wakandan art of the beatdown.
Whooping that ass, Wakanda!
Wakanda forever! So
that was the neck hold. They heard about a neck like this. They was like,
now she says that Oh, by the way, if you know anything about this, there's a $1,000 reward leading to the arrest of the people that beat her down.
From who?
The police.
Oh, I was like, you're offering
$1,000. I was like, give a fuck.
I was like,
listen. I don't care. It's not even about her saying dumb shit about Donald Trump, although that is an added layer to it. Mm-hmm. It's about they weren't fucking talking to you, so mind your goddamn business. But the fact that she felt entitled to interject, well, I support Donald Trump. I mean, it's bad enough if you actually know the people, but if you don't know them, then I'm sorry for you. Again, maybe they shouldn't have whooped her ass, but maybe she shouldn't have gotten in the middle of what the fuck they were talking about. So anyway, that's my thought on that. What you think?
People always said a long time ago, never talk about religion and politics and all this type of stuff at work and with other people. I'm trying not to talk about so much with people, and I don't want to get in the middle of conversation.
But here's the thing: it wasn't even a conversation. They were
like, you don't even interject.
She was literally walking down N Street Northwest in D.C. at 1:40 in the morning when 3 people that she didn't know were having a conversation, and she decided to interject that she supported Donald Trump. So I guess they were talking about Barack Obama or Hillary or whatever the fuck they were talking about, but it wasn't anything that they had asked her opinion about. So there you see what happened, and I hope you learned a valuable lesson. Mind your own goddamn business.
Take that to the polls.
And with that, let's
come on, baby.
Come on, get your mic.
Like a train, like a spotlight.
This may come as some surprise, but I miss you. I can see through all of your lies, but still I miss you. He takes her love, but it doesn't feel like mine. He tastes her kisses are all mine, they're not mine. He takes, but surely she can't give what I'm feeling now. She takes, but surely she doesn't know how. Is it a crime? Is it a crime that I still want you, and I want you to want me too? My love is wider than Victoria Lake. My love is taller than the Empire State. It dives, it jumps, and it ripples like the deepest ocean. I gotta give you more than life. Surely you want me back. Is it a crime? Is it a crime? I still want you, and I want you to want me too.
And we are back.
And we're back. Hey, kittens.
Yes. Oh, we're gonna do that from now on. We're gonna listen.
I think I do like the
Get it-
dramatic.
give the kids a shoe.
Yeah, the dramatic show break. I think I do kind of like that.
Yes. All right.
That's a good interlude into. Now you moved over.
I know.
Right.
God damn it.
See this? I am not crazy all the time.
Well, yes, not all the time.
All the time.
All right. All right. So, speaking of lip syncing for your life, it's time
Yes, for the RuPaul
for Drag Race. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm falling out of love. I'm still pissed off about
I said the
Shangela.
same thing. I'm not
You know.
quite. I'm not. I don't know what it is about this season. Like I'm not really.
Yeah, so-
I'm not 100% yet. Like I'm kind of like 65, 70 right now. I'm just not really. I'm not here for this.
Yeah, they did. This,
I don't know.
They
It's a
did
little
this
different.
Pharmarusical. It was a musical about pharmaceutical products, and it just wasn't funny to me, and I felt like they were trying too much, and I don't know.
So I heard that Rue and the person who wrote the other two musicals have parted ways for whatever creative differences.
So he
and if
must
that
have been, he mostly listen. Whoever they had to do it, they need to work on it because it was
yeah, I mean, and if that's the
not
case,
very good.
if that's the case, then Rue, I'm gonna need you to make up with this person,
Right,
because this one wasn't all that. It didn't really do it for me. It was okay, but it didn't really.
All right, we got 20 minutes. We got a bunch of stuff to get through. Anything else? Any other feelings about?
I don't really.
Eureka. I'm over her.
So I shout out to Eureka because I actually liked her lip sync performance. I thought it was actually very.
I thought
dramatic.
it was the least bad of two terrible performances.
I won't say it was two terrible performances.
I'm just not in a generous mood with RuPaul.
Okay.
With Drag Race
I mean,
right
and
now.
that's fair to note, and that's something to keep in mind. But I thought her performance was okay. It was. Okay.
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I was just like,
I mean, it was kind of like a. I don't know if it
her
was a-
outfit wasn't anything. I mean, she just had on a onesie essentially.
But that fabric, when you touch it, and you move
Yeah,
it
but she
different.
didn't even use that to her advantage. She didn't do like enough touching of herself so that you could see that when it was one way,
One color, and then,
and one way it was another.
She didn't. But it was.
And
I mean, it was just. It was
I'm completely over Calorie. Calorie was the one that went home, right?
calorie carb dash.
and which was just a dumb. That's just a dumb name, I thought.
It was
And,
in.
all right, let me take that back. All right, so I do not know how to paint. I clearly can lip sync for my life. I can do that part, but I do not have
This is legendary.
all of the skills that it takes to be a drag queen. So let me ease up on some of my criticism because sometimes the kids get real deep in their feelings. Like, well, bitch, you can't do none of that. So
you know what? And I think that's being very fair.
So both Calorie and Eureka got up and did something that, I do not have the skills to do, so I applaud them. But in the context of the show, I don't think Calorie was ready for that level of competition. Just her drag skills were not ready. And I think Eureka is too deep in her own head with her other accidents. And listen, let me tell you how much I understand that. Because remember when I fell down the stairs at the Pentagon? Every time I go down those fucking stairs, I'd be like, whoop. Oh, okay, let's hold his handle. I'd be like, because every time I see it, I remember the feeling of when I missed that first step. And then I was like, as I was falling in my mind, I'm like, this is happening. This is happening. This is happening. As I'm falling down the stairs like Aunt Bunny. So I understand what it's like to hurt yourself and like to be reliving that. And at least mine didn't happen on national TV. So I will, give her that.
But, like I said, I thought it was okay. But again, I'm still, my key from that so far has been Vanjie. That's how we're going to end the show. And wait. But then to see Rue and Michelle Visage,
it's like
I was dying. Rue was like, please stop.
Vanjie.
And Michelle is that good girl for just doing it. She's like,
right. So, what that reminds me of a little bit? So, my sister's name is Kendra. So when I was a kid, to torment her, I used to just whisper her name under my breath for hours on end. So like my parents thought she was crazy until one day they caught me. Because I would just be like, listen, so like we're coloring or watching TV and I'm like, for hours and hours on end, because I'm a sadistic motherfucker. My sadism has found a better outlet now, but I've always been like this until one day my mother, snuck up on us, and I'm like, and my mother's called my government name, and she was like, and she says to my sister, "Does he do that to you often?" And she burst into tears all the time. So that's how it be. Vanjie. And so it works because you got to say it without moving your mouth. So it's got to be like,
Vanjie.
all right, so that was cute. So has everyone heard of Marielle Franco? Marielle Franco was an Afro-Brazilian politician who advocated against police violence, and she was killed execution style in her car. Somebody just came up and pumped bullets into her car. She was a queer woman, an Afro-Brazilian queer woman who fought against police brutality, the rights of the LGBTQ community, the rights of women and the poor, for improved conditions in the favelas and everything. And she was killed execution style pretty much right after she had given like a major speech or something about police brutality and violence. And so recently, some major Black American figures, including Ava DuVernay,
Tanisi. Is it Tanisi?
Is it Ta-Nehisi? Ta-Nehisi. I'm sorry, I should know these things. Ta-Nehisi Coates, Janelle Monáe, and others, and they are, trying to get the word out about what happened to her because, it's, she was a gay woman protesting against police brutality in a country with a huge problem with police brutality, and she was killed. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, that the gun that was used to kill her, the bullets that were used to kill her were tied to a cache that was purchased by the federal police in 2006.
Wow.
So, this is why they're trying to bring publicity to that because, bullets from police bullets were were used to kill someone who was protesting against police violence.
Wow. Listen, unfortunately, this is going to be one of those things it either will not see the light of day in court, or the verdict is not going to be to anyone's liking.
No.
So it's not going to end up in a good place at all.
All right. Speaking of other shit that won't end up in a good place, so this Atlanta charter school. I'm just going to. All right. All right. So this Atlanta charter school
Do better.
That the best way to celebrate Black history was to have all of the kids in the class wear these blackface masks.
Atlanta, you got to do better.
So
you know better. So do better. You know better.
You think Georgia, blackface, private school, well, of course some white woman did this. And you would be wrong. Because the teacher, Rachel Clay, is Black, at least on the outside. Now, her reasoning for it was that they were discussing Paul Laurence Dunbar's poem, The Mask, that talks about the mask that we all wear.
I remember that.
However, this was a class of second graders.
First of all, that poem is
way too advanced.
Way over that.
And the point that she was trying to make, all right, so here's the thing. If this was some high schoolers
kids,
or a college, then you're like, okay, they have the context to understand and get the irony of wearing blackface masks and the history behind it.
Yes.
These are second graders.
Second graders.
So, I mean, I'm not at all accusing this woman of racism. I'm accusing her, the black woman, no. I'm accusing her of stupidity.
Okay.
Of real stupidity.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I heard you were accusing her of racism. I was like,
I was not
okay,
accusing
I'm sorry.
her of racism.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Sorry. Now,
no, that was me. Maybe I just heard it wrong. But that's
yeah. So, Supreme Court. So, again, we try to talk about things that affect us all as humans. So on Monday, the Supreme Court made it even harder for victims of police violence to bring action against police officers who use excessive force. The court ruled in favor of an Arizona police officer who shot a woman outside her home because she was carrying a knife. In doing so, the Los Angeles Times noted, the court effectively advises courts to rely more heavily on the officer's view of such incidents rather than the victim. Because the woman got shot 4 times and she survived, and she said she sued because she said that, she was having like a manic episode. It wasn't even clear from eyewitness accounts that she heard them say, put the knife down. She was actually, I'm getting this wrong. She was not even the reason that they came to the house. I don't know why she had a knife in her hand, but she had a knife in her hand. She just happened to be in the house, and she came out the house, and they apparently said, put the knife down. She didn't hear them or didn't do whatever, so she shot them 4 times. Now, of course, our favorite justices, Ruth Bader Ginsburg
Notorious
and Sonia
RBG.
Sotomayor, dissented, said that the court's decision was one-sided and transformed qualified immunity into an absolute shield for law enforcement officers, where the law enforcement officers could shoot first and think about the consequences later. So, once again,
This is
so
this is the world and the state in which we
people
live in.
last year were talking about, oh, I'm not going to vote because, voting for president doesn't mean anything. This
Is the reason
is
why
people, I need you to think of larger things. Was Hillary Clinton the perfect candidate? No.
She may not have been.
Was Bernie, I was going to say Bernie Mac.
Bernie Sanders.
Was Bernie Mac the perfect candidate?
Bernie Mac was not the perfect candidate.
Right.
But Bernie Sanders wasn't the perfect candidate either.
Right.
However,
But what we could make fairly good predictions about the kind of government that both Hillary and Bernie would have versus the one Donald Trump would have. And what's not being talked about is that, remember how the Senate, the Republican Senate, refused to confirm almost all of Barack Obama's judicial nominees? Well, now Donald Trump has filled all of those nominations. So think about, a situation like, remember in 1970 when there was a case called Roe versus Wade? And what if the judiciary had been stacked by Richard Nixon? What the problem with my tongue is today?
you done had it somewhere that was. Did you?
Rude.
Well,
Richard Nixon,
It wasn't.
and there were all of these Republican judges who had consistently denied this case. This is what you get when you're voting for president. You're also voting for a momentum and a trend.
yes.
And now the president can make nominations for. He's already your president has already nominated 2 Supreme Court justices.
Please don't say yo president.
Y'all's president
Okay. 'Cause
has nominated and had confirmed. Is it 2? I think 2 Supreme Court justices.
too many. Actually, no. It was.
It was 2 because the one was already there from Barack Obama, Merritt, whatever,
It's
and
the
then
other
one other one.
The other guy. The
that
guy. For
that
the one
guy.
who replaced Scalia, I think it was.
Yes. Then there's all these judicial appointments. Then you look at the fucking EPA, who is planning to roll. You were just talking about, Earth Day and, carbon emissions. They're going to roll back gas standards. So you know how there was this upward trend of your car by law
Having to
had
have
higher and higher fuel standards.
Yes.
Well, the EPA is going to roll that back, and you have a Republican president, a Republican Senate, and a Republican Congress who are going to run all of those things through.
So all the steps forward that we have made in saving this world that we live in,
Right.
getting ready to go down the toilet.
So
Getting ready to go down to
we
it.
have an election coming up in November. Every member of Congress, so for those of you who didn't pay attention in civics class, all 488 members of the House of Representatives are up for re-election, because that happens every 2 years. And there are a significant number of senators who are up for re-election. There is a real chance that we could at least flip the Senate, if not the House. There are also a huge number of state and local legislatures that are up for re-election.
And remember, these things on the state level affect you
directly in like
and-
an everyday way.
And also, most of these people that are running on a state level have dreams and ambitions of going into or further into politics.
Right.
So you already know what they're going to do on the state level.
Exactly.
So let's just try to think about things that way. I had a conversation with a very close family member, very close family member, and I was pissed off when I heard that they did not vote. I said, are you kidding me? This is the exact reason why we have 45 there now, because you did not vote. You did not. Now, I'm not saying that with any of the tampering in the election, I'm sorry, the alleged tampering, because that's fake news as well, that may not have helped, but what could have helped, that one vote could help.
Yeah.
Or could have helped.
I remember I didn't vote in the primary election in 2008. And at that time, when it came to D.C., the momentum had not yet turned to Barack Obama. And I was like, I'm not just going to vote for you just because you're black.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I was not paying attention and didn't vote in the primary election. And I felt terrible. I felt like I was letting down every ancestor, every person who ever got put in jail, every little girl who was blown up in a church, every person who was hosed down or bitten by police dogs. I felt I was letting down Emmett Till. I felt I was letting down Martin Luther King, who we're celebrating. Yeah. We are acknowledging the 50th anniversary of his death
today.
So and that was the primary election. I just felt terrible, and so now whenever an election comes, I'm like, I will absolutely vote. I will not miss another election again. So you have a chance to either redeem yourself or to do better, because if we can flip the Senate at least, then a lot of this foolishness that goes down, we'll be able to. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah. I don't
So vote.
Sorry.
Anyway, that is still the wrong time. All right. So, very quickly, my complex feelings this week are about FedEx and the Postal Service. You both suck. So the question is FedEx and the Post Office the worst or the worst? I had a package that was supposed to have been delivered by FedEx last week. They said they delivered it on Tuesday, and they left it on my front door. Well, when I got home, there was no fucking package on my front doorstep. And I checked with my son, and he was like, I was home all day. No one knocked on the door. They do that shit all the fucking time. Post office is the worst, where they'll say they left some shit, and then they didn't do it. Now they've gotten out of the habit, because remember they used to do those pink notes on the door?
Right.
That was the worst, because when you left that pink note on the door in my neighborhood, you'd go down to the fucking depot, be like, okay, here's my little pink thing, here's my ID. They was like, oh, well, you gotta go over to the other side to get your package. I was like, it say come here to get my shit. And then when I go over there, they were like, oh, well, we have it back at the other place. So I went back there, and I was like, I'm not leaving this place until I get my package. He's like, well, somebody got over there. I don't care what y'all got to do.
Y'all got to figure it out.
I'm going to sit right out here in my car and go and get it. If you call the police, call the police. Because then I will accuse some hoe in here of stealing my mail. Y'all need to do better. Especially FedEx. Because we are paying for that service. And I'm about to tweet y'all an angry tweet because y'all essentially stole some money from me. Because here's the thing. It's for the shit that we ordered.
I know. And I'm sitting there thinking like...
Because when you order something from FedEx, and you order it through someone like Etsy, if they say they delivered it, then you can't, argue directly with FedEx because they say they delivered it.
Right.
And if it's one thing if they acknowledge that they lost something in the system.
They're never going to do that. They're never going to do that. Let's be clear about that.
So this is some bullshit.
And the other part of that is watching FedEx and UPS and DHL and everybody else go out and leave a package on your door. This is funny because I've watched them go up the steps and everybody like this. They get to the door, drop the package, and walk away.
Right.
Who does that?
FedEx has left.
Who does that?
I had to get a replacement American Express card one time, and they left it on the porch. They didn't say anything. They didn't ring the doorbell because I was home all day. They left it on the door in the fucking rain. So the envelope and the envelope inside the envelope was completely soak through. So this is some bullshit. So fuck all
There-
y'all.
yeah,
will do, if at all possible, I do not use the post office for anything. Anything. And I try not to use FedEx. I prefer UPS because I've had, even when UPS has screwed something up, it's usually quickly resolved. FedEx will just be like, we delivered it, I don't know what to tell you. Well, bitch, I don't have my fucking package. And then I look like a liar trying to steal some shit because they're like, well, we delivered it, so.
Well, the thing with UPS is they say they'll deliver on one day and it'll come like 2 days later, but that's a whole other story.
Right.
But
So
whatever.
anyway, so complex feelings. All right. So the BGKH show streams live on Wednesdays on www.voxwave.com, 9:15 to 10:15 p.m. Eastern, 6:15 to 7:15 p.m. Pacific. Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. Search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGKH show with Dominion and Epic. Soon you'll be able to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram and find our podcast on iTunes. Still got our fingers crossed about that. I think we are literally finally getting to a time where things are going to slow down a little bit and we'll be able to make it happen.
We have 1 month.
1 month. All right, so I got 1 month to get all of this shit done. All
because
right.
there's no way, even after that, it's like, we'll be like.
Right, that's true. All right, so how can the viewers get in contact with you?
Oh, hey, you're trying to get in contact with me?
With you.
Oh, my God. Oh, my. You really want to talk? Oh, my God. So, on Instagram, you can reach me at I am Epic Onyx. And on Twitter, you can reach me at Epic Onyx1. And if you want to reach me on Facebook, you can look me up, and I am just Epic Onyx. So I would love to hear from you. So reach out.
Oh, sorry. So you can reach me at Dom Onyx on Twitter and Instagram. Facebook.com/Dom Onyx and www.domonyx. Where you can catch my column Dominion's Opinions and keep up with all of my other projects, including this show and my books, Alex and Alonzo, A Love Story, available on Amazon.
With Vanjie.
With Vanjie. Mm-hmm. So, thank you all for coming out. God bless you, and good night.
Good night! Bye, Vanjie.
Vanjie.